Wednesday edition, Mr. Irrelevant, presented by Door County Distillery. I'm Alex Strouf, hanging out with you from the Gruber Law offices, one called That's All Studio at the Avenue, beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Josh DiMaggio will join me in about 15 minutes from here as well. Producer Tiny Hands back at the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison. We continue to approach Bears-Packers. Sunday at Soldier Field. It is Bears week, which I got to be honest with you, I'm very excited about. And we'll get to my excitement level. But I just feel like this game is going to be one of those stress-free watches for me. You know, I mention all the time, you only get a couple every NFL season, a couple stress-free watches where you're watching a football game and you really have no nerves. And it feels to me like Sunday Packers-Bears may be one of those for the Green Bay Packers. We will get to all that, but first I want to check in with Tiny Hands. Tiny Hands, complete dysfunction in Dallas. We talked about it a little bit on Monday. But I do want to start here because we had the whole blind situation on Sunday. CeeDee Lamb couldn't catch a football thrown in the end zone because he couldn't see it. And then Monday at Mike McCarthy's press conference, which happened after our show, it's next to some windows, right? The sun is glaring into his press conference, and the Dallas Cowboys have some sort of blind type thing on a stick blocking the sun from hitting Mike McCarthy's eyes. I don't know if that's normally the case, if it's beautiful irony, or if that is Jerry Jones poking fun at the idea of installing blinds at AT&T Stadium. But the Dallas Cowboys in complete disarray. I believe that Jerry Jones called it a wonderful prognosis for Dak Prescott, who signed that monster contract. You okay?
I mean, I'm wearing my Cowboys stuff because they're my team. What makes it even worse is the fact that I've seen people point out that when there are concerts or other things happening at AT&T Stadium, they put up curtains. So they already have them. Like, they're there.
How about that?
Yeah.
How about that?
Yep. So this doesn't have to be a problem. I'm so tired of Jerry Jones. Like, it's just every time I see him on my phone, whether it's Twitter or something on ESPN, like, I just get even more and more frustrated. And I don't know why I let that man occupy so much of my brain. I'm so happy it's basketball season. Marquette's playing decent early on. The Blackhawks are showing some sort of promise. So that's where my mind's at. Because, like, I can't care about Badger football anymore. They're a dumpster fire, too. Ugh. It's tough. Football season's been rough for me, man.
Your fandom is rough. You're also a Duke basketball fan. Tough loss for them to Kentucky last night. Really good game, though. College basketball season, man. John Fanta, who's a legend in the sport of college basketball, does a ton of play-by-play studio stuff for the Field of 68 and CBS Sports. And I know he does like a bunch of Big East stuff as well. He tweeted last night during that Duke-Kentucky game, if you wait until March to pay attention to the sport, I pray for you. And I totally second that. College basketball is the best. So at least you've got that going for you. Cooper Flagg at Duke, Con Knippel, obviously, who we saw quite a bit of last year here in the state of Wisconsin. They're really good. They're going to be really good. They lose last night to Kentucky, but really fun game nonetheless. So anyway, I am feeling much better about the Green Bay Packers than you are the Dallas Cowboys, frankly. I said it Monday. I said it Tuesday. I say it again today. There is a 0% chance the Bears beat the Packers on Sunday. 0%. Obviously, mathematics tell you that's probably not quite accurate. But I'm telling you how I feel as a Green Bay Packers fan, watching the horrendous and hilarious at the same time dysfunction that is occurring in Chicago. I'm flat out telling you, I believe there is a 0% chance the Packers lose on Sunday. I just do not see a path, unless an asteroid hits Soldier Field after the Bears kick an early field goal, that the Packers lose. I do not see it happening. I will be going, to a sports book and placing a hefty wager on it. I will be higher on everything Packers related on Underdog using promo code Good Karma. I just absolutely do not see a scenario in which the Packers could lose. And I've seen the argument come across. I know people are bothered by my 0% thing. They either think I'm hexing it or jinxing it, or I'm just flat out incorrect. For a number of reasons, right? Number one, Matt LaFleur hasn't been great out of the bye week. He's 2-3 after the bye week, including a loss last year. I believe it was the Denver Broncos, who the Packers played. They had an early bye, played the Broncos, I think it was week 7, and lost by, I think it was like a field goal or 2 points. So you're right about that, right? Matt LaFleur does not have the greatest track record out of the bye. However, he has a terrific track record overall after the bye. The game after, 2-3. Overall after the bye, the guy's lost like 6 games in his 5 years as the head coach. It's tremendous, especially in the month of December. I think he's only lost 1 game in 5 years in the month of December. I mean, he has his team playing their best football at the right time always, it seems, after the bye, and certainly down the stretch. And here we are mid-November. The Packers and Bears go head-to-head Sunday. That'll be the 17th. So this is about the time that the Packers really turn it on. Really turn it on. And think about the schedule they've got coming up. You need them to. You've got the Bears this weekend. You play the 49ers at Lambeau next weekend. Turn around on a short week on Thanksgiving. You've got the Dolphins at Lambeau. And the following Thursday, a week later, you go to Detroit. This ain't an easy schedule. But this is the way you start a tough schedule. And the way you continue to fight and scratch and claw and hopefully get your way back to the top of the standings in the NFC. It starts with this Bears game. It does. It starts with this Bears game right here. So I am incredibly bullish on what the Packers are going to do this weekend. I think, and we just saw this note from our friend Rob Domofsky right before we got live and jumped on with you here on Mr. Irrelevant. All 52 players are practicing today for the Packers. They have 52 players on their active roster, and the return from IR window, the 3-week window, has been opened up for rookie running back Marshawn Lloyd. Now, you hear me say 52 guys on the roster. Typically, obviously, it's 53. But the Packers have not done anything with that empty roster spot since shipping Preston Smith to Pittsburgh early last week. They're holding it for, we assume, Marshawn Lloyd, the rookie running back out of USC. And he's practicing. He was put on the IR week 2 with an ankle injury. It's the first time he's practiced since. He's going to add a little bit of a bolster, a little bit of a spark to that running back room, which has been pretty darn good, right? Josh Jacobs has been terrific this year. Chris Brooks has been good in his limited action outside of the drop touchdown pass against Detroit prior to the bye. And Emmanuel Wilson's been really good here in year number 2 as a Packer. So all in all, you feel good about that running back room and your 53-man roster. It looks like health across the board, with an exception to Josh Myers, who did miss that Detroit game, but he's practicing. So all in all, you got to feel really, really good about where this team is at entering Week 11 and the second half of the season here against the Chicago Bears, Hunter.
As you mentioned, Matt LaFleur coming out of the bye week, was going back through the Packers' schedule and looking at who they played coming out of their bye weeks. And I think that record should have a huge asterisk on it, given the fact that 2018 and 2019, they had to play the Rams coming out of the bye. And that was when the Rams were at their peak. Then 2020, it was the Buccaneers. Like, those 3 years of losing those games, I kind of get that they lost those games. Like, it makes sense that you're not going to do well. Even with Aaron Rodgers and how good those Packer teams were, they weren't beating those 2 teams. So I just wanted to throw that out there in case fans get worried about that record. And as far as the 0% goes too, like, I asked you and Josh this, but unless Jordan Love somehow throws 4 pick sixes in this game, like, I don't see the Bears being able to score offensively enough to keep up. I
don't either. And, you read some of the dysfunction, right? So since we last talked on Monday, the Bears have fired their offensive coordinator, Shane Waldron. Mark Silverman of Waddle and Sylvie, ESPN 1000, our sister station down in Chicago, tweets out that veteran players, aside from asking for a change at offensive coordinator, are also asking for backup quarterback Tyson Bagent to start this weekend. So veteran players within the Bears locker room already losing faith in the number 1 overall pick that was supposed to be stepping into the best situation ever for a number 1 overall pick. I mean, it is complete dysfunction. That organization is unbelievably sad. I said it on Monday. I got a text from, let's just say, a higher up at our company who is a Bears fan. He said, I do not want you to feel bad for Bears fans. So I take it back. I don't feel bad for Bears fans, although I do a little bit. Because, it was also this way for the Packers this year versus last year, right? Last year, you didn't have a ton of expectations. It was a young team. You didn't really know what to expect from Jordan Love in his first full year as the starter, and they exceeded the lack of expectations. This year, you come into the season with expectations, and so far it's been good. It hasn't been great. right? You're at a 6-3 record entering week 11, following your bye week. You're technically the 7th seed in the NFC, which has been a really good division in terms, or conference in terms of win-loss this year. But all in all, like you're in a good spot. As for the Bears, they are quote unquote in the hunt, but the way things are going, I don't know if they'll win another freaking game this year. It's been that bad for them. The level of dysfunction, players asking for Tyson Bagent, firing your offensive coordinator, the second in the same calendar year for the head coach Matt Eberflus, letting Luke Getsy go, the former Packers offensive coordinator, at the end of last season, and now firing Shane Waldron just 10 weeks in. I just don't see how this team, and look, some teams get the quote-unquote fired coach boost, like you think back to the Indianapolis Colts a couple years ago, and people forget about this. Jeff Saturday was their interim head coach, and they won a game right after they let go, I believe it was a Frank Reich. But again, all in all, I do not see a path to victory, as Hunter pointed out. Jordan Love could throw 2 interceptions. I'd feel fine still. Their offense is completely inept. Their offensive line is disgusting. They allowed 9 sacks to the New England Patriots last week, who are bad. Like, all in the NFL, if a team looks bad, it's usually because the opponent makes them look bad. Last week, the Bears' opponent was bad, and they made them look bad. So even if you're not completely sold on this Green Bay Packers team, right? If you're still thinking, yeah, they're probably not going to make the or win the division, but they should probably make the playoffs, right? They'll be 10-7 or 11-6, so they'll probably be a 6 or a 7 seed, and they might not win a playoff game, but they'll get in, right? If that's how you feel about the Packers, I just don't see how you could be nervous about this game. I've talked about it all week on the various shows I'm on, including this one. I just don't see a path to a loss for the Green Bay Packers. I just don't. So, yeah, I stand by it. 0% chance the Bears win. I can usually come up with reasons in my head. I was more nervous to play the Titans and the Jaguars than I am the Bears. Even if it's on the road, I don't care. They're that stinky bad. So if you have thoughts otherwise, I'd be happy to hear them on the ESPN Milwaukee, ESPN Madison YouTube chat. We'll be doing a Bucks giveaway here a little bit later in the show, so if you want to text it, I've got the text line open, 800-990-3776. If that's the route you want to go, I'll also have you on the ESPN Madison Facebook page. I just don't see a route to losing. So that's where I'm at. I am really excited for this game, though. As bad as the Bears have been, right? Matt LaFleur is 10-0 against the Chicago Bears in his career as the head coach of the Green Bay Packers.
Right now I'm 10-0 with the Bears, man, and
that includes who I was about to mention, Elton Jenkins, 10-0 in his career against the Bears. When Elton Jenkins joined us on the show this offseason, I haven't seen the Packers lose the Bears in years. But yet there's still this level of excitement that I don't think I can get up for pretty much any other game. I think next Sunday against the Niners, there will of course be a big game feel to that, but there's just so much history and so many good memories of the Packers beating the Bears. There's just so much excitement to this game for me, still to this day, despite the fact that it has been completely lopsided and one-sided in favor of the Green Bay Packers for at least the last half decade, but really it's been the last 3 decades. It just gives me oh yeah, this is football. This is NFL football. And while I don't think the final score will indicate that it's a close game by any means, there's still some excitement to the point of, yeah, this is the oldest rivalry in football. Despite how bad the Bears are, there is still some rejuvenation for me to this rivalry. I feel as if, I feel as if the Caleb Williams injection and some of the trash talking and the Bears having a solid defense, it's injected some new life into me. Jordan Love, of course, taking over the ownership from Aaron Rodgers of the Bears. That inserts a lot of excitement for me. So I guess I'd be curious to hear from other Packers fans on that, but I still get up for this game, man. This is still really a really exciting game, despite the fact I don't think it's going to be close. And Hunter, I know you're not technically a Packers fan, but you still stay on the pulse of the Packers. You work at ESPN Wisconsin, right? You still follow the Packers probably as closely, if not closer, than you do the Cowboys. You've seen how lopsided this rivalry is, But do you share that excitement with me, despite the fact I think this game is going to be a blowout?
It feels like because of the level of rivalry that this is at, no matter what either team is at, like this is still just an exciting game. It's kind of the same thing like college football. I'm going to watch Michigan, Ohio State, even though Ohio State's going to blow them out. Duke, North Carolina for basketball. I'm still tuning in. Like, this is what that game is. It's reached a level with its history that no matter where these teams are at, I'm in. I'm locked in as a football fan that I'll watch it, and I'm going to stay tuned in the entire time because something crazy at some point is going to happen, and it will probably be something crazy funny that's going to happen to the Bears. So I'm going to want to watch it and be locked in on it.
I'm with you. I love it. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we'll preview the second half of the season. It feels big, man. And Adam Schefter predicting a 6-2 finish for the Packers. I'm with him on that. I think the Packers finished the season 6-2, got 12-5 on the year. I'll explain why. And can Jordan Love repeat what he did in the second half of the season last year? We will dive into all that coming up next. We also have some one word to play ahead of Week 11 in the NFL. And the Bucks get a win last night. Yeah. 3-8. Is it still early? Time to hit the panic button. Where are we at in the Bucks? We'll do a pulse test on the Bucks as well. All still ahead, but first got to tell you about my friends at Door County Distillery, locally produced, handcrafted, award-winning spirits made locally in beautiful Door County. It's whiskey season for me. The Door County Distillery bourbon, the single malt whiskey, which has won 27 gold medals across the country. Also a delicious rye whiskey, gins, bourbons, vodkas, rums. They've got it all. Affordable, award-winning, delicious, and made local. Elevate whatever you've got going on with Door County Distillery. DoorCountyDistillery.com is the website. We step aside for 6 and we come back. Second half talk. One word. Bucks. All the in-betweens. All still ahead. It's Mr. Relevant. I'm Alex Strouf. Fall is here, and once again it has me asking the question, where in the world is Door County Distillery today? It brings me to the great Liberty Station off the Beltline in Madison. Let's go into Liberty Station. Always a good time to enjoy a Door County Distillery old-fashioned made with the delicious cherry brandy, which of course is infused with famous cherries from Door County. Whether you're making an old-fashioned, just splashing in some lemon or lime juice, or just mixing it with a soda, nothing better than the cherry brandy from Door County Distillery. You can enjoy it everywhere, whether it's a tailgate, a holiday gathering, or you're sitting out at the patio right here at Liberty Station. Do it right with the Door County Distillery Cherry Brandy. Check out their website with a huge list of unique cocktail recipes at DoorCountyDistillery.com. That's DoorCountyDistillery.com. Yeah, DoorCountyDistillery.com is the website for our awesome presenting sponsor and delicious presenting sponsor. You can only say that so often. Door County Distillery and DoorCountyDistillery.com. So, Packers, 8 games remaining. 6-3 on the year. And it'll be 7-3 following Sunday because they are going to win that game. 0% chance they lose. Joshy's already smiling. Joshy literally just joined the show. He's already smirking at me because I said 0% already. Joshy, do you disagree with me on that? 0% chance they lose.
I think there's no chance they lose. I'm more snickering at the fact that you're trying to reestablish your chokehold on the 0% chance take.
Yeah, I'm fine with people joining the bandwagon. Just give credit where credit's due, you know? This is my philosophy. I was the first person, I think, to say there was a 0% chance the Packers lose. And there was one particular guy, maybe a part of the show I produced, Kyle Bruston Ortman, weekdays 2 to 5, that is now staking his claim in this take that I gave him. So, ridiculous. Anyway, 0% chance. But so you think there's no shot either? You're this bullish and confident on the Green Bay Packers Sunday against the Bears as well.
If there were to be a case for it, it has to be Thomas Brown finds something that Shane Waldron was refusing to address on the offense.
But here's the thing
Jordan
I hate about that take. Is Thomas Brown, and you can make the argument, they scored however many points against the Packers last year. Thomas Brown did the same thing in Carolina last year. He took over the offense, and they were horrible with the number 1 overall pick. He did the same thing a year ago.
Thomas Brown is more respected in league circles, and his acumen is thought of as higher than Shane Waldron's. That's just the general consensus on him.
What have you done for me lately? And if the argument you want to make is, hey, remember that game on Christmas Eve when the Panthers scored, 34 or something points on the Packers? Yeah, But can't I then turn around and say, hey, that was a Joe Barry defense, not a Jeff Hafley defense, which is clearly much better, despite the lack of pass rush, which we are going to see on Sunday because the Bears' offensive line is doggy doo-doo.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you're looking for this take, because there's never a 0% chance that an NFL team isn't going to lose.
I get that. It's any given Sunday except this Sunday.
But the one thing that you seem to leave out here is Jordan Love has had interception problems. Interceptions that have turned into points for the other team.
Yeah.
I would, if there's a pick six in the Bears game, it's probably going to be a really close game. And that is a major factor that you have to keep, because the Bears defense is good. It's not great, it's good. If Jordan Love plays like we saw him play at various points of the season, that game is going to be coin flip. And as we know, the coin flip 50-50. One-score games can go either way. Good teams lose a lot of them. Bad teams win a lot of them. That's just how that stuff goes.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a shootout. It's a low total. All those factors make me try and inch away. I'm at 5%.
Okay, but that's still pretty darn good.
It is. 0%. I got it. You got a point. You're taking a stand.
I am. But it just plays into my. I'm never this confident, Joshy. I mean, you've worked with me for years now. I usually find a way to be pessimistic, right? I host Green Bay Game Day 3 hours ahead of every Packers game on our stations, and I usually find, if you've listened to that show before, you usually know I find something to be nervous about. The Bears don't do anything that makes me nervous. And maybe that's the entire point. Maybe it's like, well, Strouf, you're overlooking them. Trap game, right? Like, maybe that's the case you could make.
I don't know how the guy went from I'm scared of the Bears to they've got nothing here I'm afraid of.
I was wrong. I was flat out wrong.
Right, but why am I now? I'm not scared of the Bears, but they have talent. There are talented guys out there.
Well, of course, they're still NFL players.
Right, but they have been punching below their weight so far these past 3 games that's what makes me nervous. I think they're better than the version we've seen the past 3, but not as good as the 4-2 team either.
No.
Like they're somewhere in the middle.
Somewhere in the middle.
But they are a bottom 5 NFL team.
But that's significantly below the Packers then.
How significant?
I view the Packers as a top 3 team in the NFC. Maybe top 4. Depends how you view the Commanders, but I would put the Packers above the Commanders. I'd just buy them more in terms of championship hopes. This defense is really good for the Packers, and that's without a pass rush. I mean, we talked about it a little bit off the air. What they did to the Texans, what they did to the Cardinals, right? Teams with good offenses. They dismantled them. They made them look silly. And for a team that, A, has no offensive line in the Bears, super big advantage for the Packers, who have really struggled to establish a daunting pass rush. And then you couple that with an inexperienced quarterback who's prone to make mistakes. You couple that with an offense for the Packers that has seemingly every year under Matt LaFleur hit their stride in the second half of the season.
Game. That's just bad after bye.
He's 2-3 though, right? It's not like he's 0-5 because then maybe we have an argument there, But and last year was the Broncos in Week 7, so that was before this team put it all together. It was a couple weeks prior to that. This team has had a game where they've put it all together. This year it was the Arizona game. I just don't see a path to victory for them.
That's probably a bad thing.
Hunter?
Yeah, Josh, what do you think the Bears, realistically, what is the Bears' best path to victory?
How am I being categorized as this pro Bears guy? What they need to do is they run the ball with DeAndre Swift. They have 150 yards rushing. Jordan Love
throws how many interceptions, right?
Right, throws 2 interceptions. Those are games that are now at a coin flip. I don't have the level of confidence to be at 0%. I think the Bears are hapless, useless, pathetic franchise. But they still got NFL players. They still DJ Moore's still out there. DJ Moore can single-handedly change the way a game goes.
DJ Moore's checked out.
DJ Moore might also take a nap.
Yeah, but he's checked out.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's checked out.
And maybe the OC changes how he operates, right? Maybe there's some injection of energy and excitement and optimism for DJ Moore now that Shane Waldron's out. But changing the OC doesn't change much. You don't install an entire playbook in 4 days.
Matt LaFleur did.
That's true. But Matt LaFleur's a little bit better than Thomas Brown.
Okay, Josh, Matt LaFleur is the exception, not the rule. Like, Matt LaFleur, along with Shanahan and Reed, are probably the 3 offensive guys off the top of my head that I'm like, yep, I would believe that they could make that happen. And everybody else, no shot. But those 3 could do it. So, like, I don't think that that's a great argument there. Like, it's, again, I actively root against the Packers. I admit that. Every single Sunday I'm rooting for them to lose because I think the content is better on our stations, and I'm just that bitter off of the things that Aaron Rodgers did to the Cowboys. And I see zero chance that the Bears win this game.
Too much time.
Like, there's just no way. Yeah. It's always too much time. Every single time.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
Being a 6-point favorite, I honestly felt like that should be more.
I'm with you. This is going to be double digits. Mad City Brew on the ESPN Milwaukee YouTube chat. I believe Green Bay will win versus Chicago on Sunday, but I thought the same when Green Bay played the New York Giants on Monday night last year. Last year was last year, though. I've got a little bit more faith in this team's continuity.
I also feel like and the general sense is the Packers had a great second half, so they're just going to do it again.
I haven't said that because that's something I'm skeptical about.
I feel like that's something people have kind of just said is going to be
is a foregone conclusion.
Yes.
I'm with you on this, right? Like, I don't know that Jordan Love can exactly repeat what he did a year ago. He was the best quarterback in football the second half of the season. I don't expect that again. But let's go back to the word I just used. Continuity. Complementary football. Those are things the Packers can get better at as they play more football down the stretch. They're healthy. Everybody practiced today. This defense has a really good opportunity to have kind of a get-right game this weekend. Even though they played well against Detroit, they only allowed 17 points against one of the best offenses in football. So what this defense has shown us is good enough. The offense is the part I'm more worried about, and that comes down to Jordan Love and some of the mistakes you can't be making, the self-inflicted wounds we've talked a ton about. Penalties, drop passes, Jordan Love throwing interceptions. I think you can cut down on all of those things. That's technique, and for Love, that's decision-making. The drop passes, your boy Tavian Wicks got to cut down on him, leading the league right now. But Love keeps going back to him. So clearly he's doing stuff right. I really think this team is going to hit a stride. Now, I don't know if I'm as confident as Adam Schefter, who said on your show this morning, 6-2.
Love that.
I love his confidence there. He knows a hell of a lot more about the NFL than I do. Is 5-3 probably realistic? Yeah. You know, mix in a loss to the Niners, maybe Seattle on the road on a Sunday night game, and maybe you drop both to Detroit this year. But 5-3, 6-2, it's completely realistic, and that certainly has you. I would guess probably the 6 or 5 seed in the NFC playoffs. I don't think you're winning the division. There's still certainly a chance, but. I don't think that to get back to your original point down the stretch here with 8 games remaining, I don't think they get back to what they did a year ago. I mean, that was just lightning in a bottle. We don't know what we don't know. Unbelievable football by the youngest team. But can they show their ability to play complementary football? Can their offense show the ability to put long sustained drives together and a complete 60 minutes and not turning the ball over in crucial moments like Jordan Love's done a few times this year? Yeah, I have faith in that.
I'm fully prepared for a come in on Monday, and we're doing did they actually win by that much, or did the game feel like it was further than because the Packers win by 6 points? They win by 7 points. And then is that going to be disappointing? If the Packers, it's one score, it's kind of back and forth. The Packers have the edge, but the Bears are within striking distance at the end. Because that's what it feels like you're setting up for. Basically, either it's a blowout or we're hitting the panic button about the Packers.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you.
How many sacks would they need to have for you to feel good?
This weekend?
Yeah. So I'm at 5.
I was going to say 4.
I need 5.
They had 8 against the Titans. And by the way, I repeat, I was more nervous going into that game than I am this game.
Well, yeah, it's really close. There are 9 for the Patriots, who had 19 coming into the week.
Yeah.
Patriots had 9. You got to get to 5. Rashawn Gary has to have a solo, too.
Yeah, he does. I'm totally with you on that. I think there's potential Rashawn Gary looks like the defensive player of the year we've hoped for him to look like for 3 years.
I mean,
against this offensive line?
What indication would you have that man is capable of creating?
Oh, no. See, now you're misinterpreting. You asked me what that man is capable of. It is the other way around. It is the ineptitude
I've seen him
and dysfunction of their offensive line.
I've seen him get blocked by tight ends.
Me too, Joshy. I'm with you. I'm not disagreeing with you.
Tucker Kraft would throw him 50 yards downfield.
You know, I'd actually be intrigued to see their matchup. That's a great point by you. I'd be really intrigued to see that. All right, we got to get to one word. I want to talk a little Bucks. We got to get to what we learned. All still ahead. But hey, we're doing this all week long on ESPN Milwaukee. This year during the NBA's in-season tournament, ESPN Milwaukee putting Bucks tickets on the line all week long. Tune into ESPN Milwaukee and be entered into our Emirates NBA Cup Bracket Challenge. Right now, text the word CUP, C-U-P, CUP, to 800-990-3776. That's CUP to 800-990-3776. If you text in, if you're one of the first 5 people to text in the word CUP, 800-990-3776, you'll be able to pick a team in the Eastern Conference Bracket A, or A group, which consists of the New York Knicks, Orlando Magic, Philadelphia 76ers, Brooklyn Nets, and Charlotte Hornets. If that team ends up winning the NBA Cup, you will secure your seats to see unforgettable moments at a Bucks game. $2 tickets. You can also secure your seats at bucks.com/tickets. Text us right now, CUP, to 800-990-3776. CUP to 800-990-3776. You're entered to win Bucks tickets. Knicks, Sixers, Magic. You believe in them to win the NBA Cup? Nets and Hornets, probably not, but you've got an opportunity right now. Word CUP, 800-990-3776 to get entered. Text that right now, 800-990-3776 if you're watching with us live. If you're listening back to the podcast, probably not going to have your opportunity. But anyway. From the Tribe says on YouTube, the reason why Jordan Love is always hitting Wicks is because he knows how to get open. Dontavian Wicks, by far one of the best route runners in the league, period. Totally agree with you. And that's something Joshy and I have talked at length about the last couple of months. He's so damn good. And I think it was on the air on Monday during the show. We talked about it's a little reminiscent of Devontae Adams here, too. I'm not saying he's going to evolve into the best receiver in the league like Devontae Adams ultimately did, but frustrating drops. But amazing route runner, unbelievable separation rate, has just an unmatched ability of anybody else in that wide receiver room to get open. Like, Jaden Reed is efficient as heck, and he's their best receiver. And he gets open, but not the way Dontavian Wicks does. Dontavian Wicks is a deep threat. He runs such crisp routes. So, yeah, that's why J. Love goes back to him, and that's what makes J. Love so good, is he hasn't lost faith in him despite leading the league in drops. So that's what makes Jordan Love so good. Despite some of the errors we've seen Jordan Love make this year, he's still a damn good quarterback, and that is a damn good leader as well, as we should point out. Continuing to go back to the guy, despite some dysfunction, probably not dysfunction, we'll save that word for the Bears, but some mistakes this season.
It's what young players do. Some of them have drop issues, some of them don't. Also, if you look at the drops at the end of the year, it's typically guys who are the better players in the league because they are getting the attention a lot. They're getting the ball a lot. The ball's getting knocked loose from them in situations that it shouldn't. He's simply getting, and we know these stats now because of the tracking systems in them. Dontavian Wicks on a per route run basis is like the most open guy in the league. That's how good he is at creating separation and making himself a target. The problem is he leads the league also in not bringing it in. I don't think you can make it to the NFL and have an unfixable drops issue. I don't know of how many guys in the NFL saw their careers fizzle out because they simply couldn't catch it enough. It's a correctable issue. It might happen next week. Mm-hmm. It might be 2025 before we see what that fully is.
I sure hope not. I would like to see that in the Super Bowl than in the calendar year of 2025.
I would love it to be the same. But the Packers are in an interesting spot because, quite frankly, aside from Jaden Reed, who on the field has really determined they need to absolutely always be on the field? Obviously, Romeo Doubs is on the field the most, and he's the most reliable, but he's made some drops as well. He also struggles to get open, and the reason he's having to make so many tough catches is because the defender trailing him is usually right on top of him.
Yeah.
Christian Watson has not delivered at all, really, this year.
No. Which is fine, but I've certainly expected more out of him.
The problem is other than Jaden Reed, no one's been like, this is why Dontavian Wicks can't make the field. So he's going to keep making it.
You're right.
Unless one of those guys becomes a force that is one of those guys where you can't keep him off the field.
Romeo Doubs has been solid. He's been their second best receiver this year. Could you make the case Tucker Kraft's number 3?
Yes.
I think so.
I think he's probably been better than Dobbs if we were to put it all together.
It's probably close, but yeah. I mean, I think we could say 2A, 2B and just, save the argument. But after that, I don't really.
There's space there for someone to take it.
Yeah, it's Wicks or Watson.
Right.
That's the part.
Bell Melton wants it.
Want to try that one more time?
Bull Melton wants it. He can have it.
Yeah.
I just want somebody to be consistent. And if Christian Watson wants it, he can have it too. I'm not going to be preferential here.
I think we're still waiting on him to pop off, Watson. I still think he'll have moments. He's too quick. He's been healthy for the most part,
which is a huge step in the right direction.
Yeah. Mad City Brew asking this question. Joshy, I will change the number of percentage for you before we get to one word, because you said 5%, I said 0%. Mad City Brew, what if I say Jordan Love can't play? Would Willis change your 0% the Packers lose?
I almost would go to 0% because I know what they're going to do. They're going to run the ball.
Yeah, I feel
1,000 times.
I feel equally as good.
They've been mistake free with Malik Willis. Of course,
0 interceptions.
Yeah,
best QBR in the league.
And it's winning in a different way. And this is one of those teams where.
But that's what makes LaFleur so damn good.
I agree.
He can win in multiple ways. He knows how to build a system for the guys he has on the field, which was what makes him great. So, no, it doesn't change anything.
The case I see for real optimism here is Jordan Love's health improving. I think Tausch mentioned it, and I've been saying it basically since Jordan Love got injured. Their inability to do play action and under center stuff has totally changed the offense and made it literally less effective. And Jordan Love is pressing in spots he probably wouldn't have to be and making decisions he wouldn't have to because as we saw throughout last season into the playoffs, there were throws he was making to guys who just had no one near them. Mm-hmm. And it was like a 3-man route. There were 3 guys out there, and somehow the 5 couldn't keep track of all of them. It's just different when Matt LaFleur is able to run that play action. They have now a really consistent guy, and the reason Aaron Jones was such a revelation was he was that good. Josh Jacobs just shows up and is that good like every week. And it's just a matter of time. You have to imagine the amount of time Jordan Love has had off now. With being able to play against the Lions, that groin is near 100%. Also, along with that MCL. Like, those things have to be, like, I don't know what he's going to say in terms of his health.
I don't either.
But a lot of time off. And I'm sure he wasn't just sitting there eating Cheetos and drinking soda pop.
No, he was at the Lakers game. Dad doing a jersey swap with Anthony Davis, known Packers fan. How'd you feel about that?
Anthony Davis has long said he's a Packers fan. He's been to Packers games.
You're good with it.
It's his time off.
Let him enjoy it.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah. He's from California also, so probably went to his house or apartment he owns out there. You think he's got 2 houses yet? You think the apartment's in Green Bay?
That is a good question. No, I bet he owns a house in Green Bay. Property much cheaper there than Los Angeles.
It's true. Maybe a condo in Los Angeles.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet he's got 2 properties.
Didn't Veronica say she moved with him to Green Bay, actually?
Yeah, she did.
So I'd imagine they probably have a house at that point.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They got a house in Green Bay, I bet. L.A., I don't know if he's got a property out there. It's fun to speculate, though. You think he's got...
Jordan Love a 2-house guy yet? I mean, he got the money.
What if he's 3? Right? Like, she's got... Where'd she go to college again? Was she Oregon State?
Oregon. She's a Duck. Played volleyball there.
She's a Duck.
Quack.
Quack, quack. Who the Badgers play this weekend. Do you think they got property in Oregon? I heard it's beautiful this time of year.
Who did you hear it's beautiful from this time of year?
It's actually awful.
What do you mean? Oregon?
Yeah, it's going to be
beautiful.
cold and
Leaves are
rainy and
changing.
gross.
Yeah, but leaves are changing. It's a beautiful nature state.
I think we're past that time.
Yeah.
Oh, did I miss it?
Yeah, probably
Okay,
by about
it
3
was
weeks.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Okay, it was beautiful this time of year 3
I
weeks
believe
ago.
portions of that state turn into like a rainforest.
That's why they call it the Pacific Northwest. Well, it's not why they call it that.
No,
has
that's
nothing to
literally
do with
not.
They call it the Pacific Northwest because it's the northwest portion of the United States and it's on the Pacific
There
Ocean.
you go.
Nice. Yeah. Okay. Got it. All right. We do this every week prior to the upcoming NFL week in action and reviewing some of the biggest headlines in the NFL. Hunter Vaughn writes somewhere between 10 and 15 topics for me that I have not seen. I respond to them with one word. We cleverly call it one word. So, Hunter, let's play one word.
All right, I've got him up on the screen, but Edrin Cooper received votes for the top 10 draft picks of 2024 on ESPN.com.
Deserved. He's been awesome. Dog. Good one.
That is a good one. The Detroit Lions are second, according to ESPN Bet, for Super Bowl odds at plus 425.
Just real quick before I give you my word, I assume that's behind the Chiefs.
Yeah, I didn't see what their number was.
Kneecaps.
Anthony Richardson is back as the Colts starting quarterback.
Rebound? Yeah, that's such a wacky situation.
Circus.
Yeah, that's a good word.
The Arizona
Thanks, Steichen.
Cardinals have won 4 in a row.
Frisky.
That word's banned. Try
Band word, by the
again.
way.
Sexy.
Still banned.
COD. Call of Duty.
Acronym.
Try again.
Offense.
We'll take it. Thursday night football. Commanders at Eagles.
Sexy. No, leader. Let's go with the word leader there.
Another great game. Ravens at Steelers Sunday at noon.
Yeah, that one's fun. I can't use acronyms.
No.
No. Cheating.
Yeah, I was going to say Opoy for Offensive Player of the Year for Derrick Henry. One word, Ravens. They're going to win that game.
Another great game on Sunday. 9-0 Chiefs at 8-2 Bills.
Preview of the AFC Championship game.
And of course, I had to do it. Bears fire offensive coordinator Shane Waldron.
Hilarious, dysfunctional,
Bums.
bums, awful.
Embarrassing.
Yeah, we could go on for this one
Joke.
for a while. Yeah. Comedy.
We'll move on
Enjoyable.
to another joke team. This morning on Unsportsmanlike, Adam Schefter said he would guess Daniel Jones has played his last snap with the Giants.
Unsurprising.
Dimes.
Dimes. Yeah, that's a great word. Josh, you might be better at this game than me. You might be better at this
I
than me.
love. There is, and you can go and look at the stats and look at the amount of games started and losses. There has not been a quarterback to be as bad and play as much as Daniel Jones is. He's truly a marvel of football.
Well, what about like, no, I just got to think about this. Oh, yeah, for how many games he's played, probably
Yes.
not. Because I was going to say Trubisky, but Trubisky made the playoffs
Yes.
1 year.
Yep.
I mean, Danny Jones did too. That's what
He
got him his
hasn't
big
thrown
contract.
multiple touchdowns in like 3 seasons.
In a game, you mean?
Yes.
Really? I did
It's
not know
that
that.
bad.
Wow. Yeah, it is. It is. And you know what? Giants made their own bet. That's another, I mean, you said it, Hunter. That's another embarrassing franchise, a horrible decision. The Giants are clearly good at that. They can't figure out how to replace Eli Manning. And I don't mean to slander Eli Manning because he's a Hall of Fame quarterback. He's a 2-time Super Bowl champion. But it's not like he was a very good regular season quarterback. He was average. Is that a fair word?
Yeah.
And they're having an impossible time replacing him. Still.
It's because they're looking in the wrong places.
That's fair. And then they put too much faith in their guy. But anyway.
I've got one last one. Got to stay in the city of New York. Adam Schefter on the Pat McAfee show said that Aaron Rodgers doesn't look like he's having fun out there.
Because he's not. I guess that's more than one word. Yeah, good. My word would be yeah. Yeah.
Did you see our boy did his own research and read a fake stat sent out by Sarah Sivian?
Who did this?
No.
Aaron Rodgers.
What is this, medical related?
No, it was a Jared Goff stat where she just made up one about Jared Goff is like 4-0 in games with 4 interceptions or more. And Jared Goff is 1-1 in games with 4 interceptions or more, I believe is that. Now, I'm giving fake stats, but I'm also not presenting them as a real thing.
Yeah.
He's just doing his own research out there, baby.
That's what he does. Research connoisseur.
If there's no better way to encapsulate the Aaron Rodgers experience than that instance, oh, man, I love that they're so bad.
I got to say it. I'm back out. I was back in after the Hail Mary. I'm back out. What are they, 3-7? They're horrible. Stop putting them on national TV.
Oh,
because I'm gonna watch them.
They ain't going anywhere.
And if Rodgers looks like vintage Rodgers, I'm gonna naturally end up cheering.
Here's the sneaky part, and why they might end up getting flexed just because like it's an obligation. But as many people want to watch Aaron Rodgers, want to watch him fail. Like him struggling is a good product for the NFL.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I was looking at this, and they're like basically done with primetime games now. Like they had a crap ton at the beginning of the season, and now like the NFL left them off just in case. Like I think they knew what could happen, and they wanted to.
Come on, we all know, despite their horrible record, they're going to get flexed at some point. They'll be on Sunday night. They'll be on America's Game of the Week. They'll be on something national before the end of the year. Because Hunter, you are right. I think we've talked about this before, but I remember Mike North, who handles the scheduling for the NFL and the networks, stacked him at the beginning of the season, given what happened last year with Aaron Rodgers going down in week 1. They wanted to make sure if Rodgers is going to play, let's get them all on the national networks early in the season. So I think you're right. They are done technically.
Yeah, they only have noon games left.
Watch them win 3 games in a row.
Does
all of a sudden
retire?
they're 6-7. No, I think he runs it back for one more.
How does it get better there? They have no assets.
Yeah. I'm not the general manager, Josh. I'm not disagreeing with you. A new head coach next year, likely. Unless they hire Jeff Ulbrich. But
also now let's pull that thread. What do? Do you let Aaron Rodgers still run this franchise knowing that you're 1 year closer to him no longer playing?
It's a great question.
Because he's going to have to like the new guy.
It's going to be Nathaniel Hackett.
Like, they are in as bad of a spot as you could imagine.
Yeah.
But
yeah, they're bad.
It's also, we know Aaron has a ginormous ego. Like, he's going to come back. He's going to come back. They're going to bow to it because other than
he wants to make the playoffs one more time.
Yep.
And I don't think it's going to happen.
And then he'll go on Pat McAfee and parade around like, hey, see, I told you we could do it. I told you. Everybody doubted us because they made it to the wild card and got blown out on the road at the Bills.
Yeah, but he's a sensitive little man. He doesn't want to go through another year of
okay, so let me ask you this.
Embarrassed.
Let me ask you this. Do you think there's a realistic possibility that Aaron Rodgers is traded again?
Who would take him?
I don't know that. That's where I was about to go with that. I don't know who's asking for him. The Bears?
I contend nobody wants to enter into that anymore. There is no clearer sign that whatever it takes to keep Aaron Rodgers happy and Aaron Rodgers on your team is not good for a football team.
Yeah.
The last year with the Packers and now this year with the Jets.
I'm with you, dude. But who knows? Who knows? All right, let's talk a little bit about the Milwaukee Bucks before we wrap up the show. But first, UnderdogFantasy.com. It's the best way to watch sports. Just watched a little college hoops last night. Got my highers, got my lowers. How you play on Underdog? It's easy as this. You look at player projections on their stats. Whether for basketball, that could be points, that could be PRA, points, rebounds, and assists. You could look at football. It could be passing yards, passing touchdowns, rushing yards, rush or receiving touchdowns for receivers and running backs. All you do is pick higher or lower. You can pick anywhere between 2 to 8 picks in your pick 'em entry, pick higher or lower, and you can win up to 1,000 times your money. You could turn $1 into $1,000 on Underdog Fantasy and Underdog and the Underdog app. Use promo code Good Karma at sign up, GOODKARMA. Good Karma at sign up. Get a 50% deposit match and a free pick at sign up. You put $100 in, you get $50 more to play with. You put $1,000 in, you get $500 more to play with. Promo code Good Karma at sign up.
I'd like to make a promise to you, Hunter, and the Mr. Irrelevant.
Just don't do anything illegal.
Correct. I'm going to work my damnedest to try and get us back into the win column this weekend. I can't promise I'm going to win.
Yes, that's illegal.
I'm going to promise I give it all I got. I'm hitting the lab. I'm going to come back with some hot tips.
All right, I got an idea.
Yeah.
You and I, there's a bar about 20 feet that way. You follow what I'm saying so far? In the Third Street Market.
I don't like where it's heading.
We'll grab some Door County Distillery bourbon.
I like that part.
We'll each have a little on the rocks.
I like
We'll
it.
open up the Underdog app or UnderdogFantasy.com, depending on
you're singing to me right now.
if you have your laptop open. We'll get all the stats out. We'll look at the averages. We'll do the variances. We'll do some math. As you guys know, math is my specialty. We'll get in the lab. We'll Door County, little Underdog. We'll get back in the winning column.
There's a big flaw there. It's the will part.
We'll try.
No, I don't want to do it with you.
Oh.
Wow.
Instead of speaking your language.
Yeah, Door County, Underdog. It's the we, the you.
Okay. I'm not sure how to feel about that, but I guess I hear where you're coming from. Would it change your mind if I told you I got in the win column last night, college hoops?
Oh.
Little second half action on Kentucky and Duke. Went 3 for 3.
I
had to go lower on our guy Con Knipple, though, the Milwaukee area native. Yeah,
That's
and it was
disrespectful.
Right, well, it was right. 15, I think it was 15 PRA in the second half. Maybe it was 12, and he only had like 5. Higher on Cooper Flag. And then I had a lower on Kentucky's point guard and points.
I love
3
how
for 3.
you become the guy who's whatever happening in front of you.
That's the best part about Underdog. It elevates the game watching experience. I say that every time I tell you about it because it does. You're rooting for certain, especially if it's a game where you don't have like a particular rooting interest, and like it's not like you play fantasy college basketball, right? So like that is a big. And I love college hoops. I watch them all the time anyway. But yeah, it's helped enhance the game watching experience because I'm rooting for things. And it's a game within the game.
Yeah.
And then it puts some money in my pockets.
I was going to say, I had a blast. The Badgers had the bye week, so did a college football one, sent it to the two of you. Quinn Ewers decided to have the one game all season where he doesn't throw an interception, so I was a little mad at him. But Jackson Dart helped me out by throwing one. Cam Ward and Will Howard getting 3 tutters each. It was great. Like, didn't have to watch the Badger game, was still locked in.
You got personal beef?
I got personal beefs with so many players who've let me down on the Underdog app, and it's not the right way to handle it. But
Yeah, no. It's
not healthy, but you just hold on to it.
Gambler is the phone number. 1-800-GAMBLER.
George Pickens, I'm still mad at him. $1,600.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Did you see his touchdown catch this past weekend, by the way?
Yeah, of course he does it like that now.
Unbelievable.
He can't stop catching touchdowns and going for 1,000,000 yards.
Dude, he climbed that ladder so effortlessly, and it was like this unbelievable catch, and he made it look easy.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson, George Pickens, interesting duo. George Pickens might single-handedly revive Russell Wilson's career.
Yeah, I mean, it's perfect. He can win at the catch point like few other wide receivers in the league can, so he covers up for maybe some of maybe Russell Wilson's, deficiencies.
Some might even say it's a sexy duo.
Whoa. Yeah. Not so sexy as the Milwaukee Bucks record. 3-8, won their first game in the NBA Cup, the Emirates NBA Cup, which, by the way, if you text CUP right now, 800-990-3776, you have your opportunity to win some Bucks tickets. Jim has the Magic. So Knicks, Nets, Sixers, and Hornets still available if you want to see your chance to win some Bucks tickets. 800-990-3776. Just text the word CUP, C-U-P, to 800-990-3776. Opportunity to win some Bucks tickets there. But Bucks get a win in the NBA Cup game, opener last night. If you don't remember how the NBA Cup works, because last year was the first year of the in-season tournament, Tuesdays and Fridays for like the next 4 weeks are only NBA Cup days. They play on the unique courts. It's group play. There's 6 groups total, 3 in each conference. The top 4 records from each conference are the 3 group winners, and then the best record that didn't win their group go into bracket play, and then you have an 8-team bracket essentially, which will eventually lead to a champion. Last year it was the Lakers. Bucks got to the second round last year of the bracket, ultimately foreshadowing what their season would do, and that was lose to the Indiana Pacers in the semifinal of the in-season tournament. So anyway, that started last night. Bucks beat the, at the time, also 2-8 Toronto Raptors. The Bucks have a pretty easy schedule here until December. I think it's December 4th or December 6th, whatever that Friday is. They play the Boston Celtics again, who they lost to on Sunday. Got 11 games in between there. 6 of their next 7, so now it's 5 of their next 6, are at home, including tonight. They have a golden opportunity to turn this thing around. If they go 8-3 over those 11, so essentially 7-3 over their next 10, they're at 10-11 going on the road to Boston. Every team other than the Cavaliers, I think it's the Knicks maybe, are under 500 in the Eastern Conference. That's it. 500 or worse. Pacers are 500. Everybody else is below 500 in the Eastern Conference. So this thing's still wide open, despite being 3-8. So I'm not ready to hit the panic button, and I'm actually going to be the guy that advocates it's still early. Talk to me once we get to that Boston game, and I will probably tell you it's no longer early if this isn't a team that goes 7-3 over their next 10. But I still think the Bucks are primed for, right now, a great position to turn this around and still be alive. So that's where I stand on the Milwaukee Bucks after the win last night.
I saw a tweet, and I sent it over to you from Bucks Zone, but they reminded everyone that the 2000-2001 Bucks started 3-9 and went on to finish with a 52-30 record and came 1 game away from the NBA Finals. So just a helpful reminder for Bucks fans there.
I took that the opposite way.
Uh-oh.
So you mean to tell me the best case scenario is a game away from the finals right now?
You wouldn't take that with the way this season has started?
This is a team that has championship expectations. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand, but the way the last 2 playoffs have gone, I'm gonna
sure,
at this point,
sure.
just get to the Eastern Conference Finals. Tell me there's at least a chance that they can get there, because the last 2 years I haven't seen it.
But the issue is they're running out of runway because they're old, right? Like they're just
know.
old. And AJ Green has done some nice things. Andre Jackson Jr. has done some nice things since he was elevated to the starting lineup last Thursday. But they're still old. And while Green and Jackson are good stories, you don't have a lot of youth running around. So we'll see. Rollins had Ryan Rollins, a nice game last night until he left that game with an injury. But another good youthful piece maybe that could develop into something as the season continues to go on. But this is a team that's probably going to need to make at least a move, if not 2, prior to the deadline in February. But a lot of season left. It's still early. Go 7-3 over your next 10. You're 10-11 going to Boston. I'd feel pretty darn good about that. That's where I stand on that. All right, time to wrap up the show as we always do. You learn something new today, or every day. We learn something new today. It's time now to play a little What We Learned. We start in the Everlight Solar Studio with producer Tiny Ann's Hunter Vaughn.
Josh, I'm going to need you on this one as well here. This morning, driving in, I saw something for the first time. I saw a Cybertruck in the wild. Those things are even uglier in person.
Yeah,
like I would rather.
Quite a few of those riding around the Milwaukee area. I see them quite often. Yeah, they're gross.
They're ugly. They are dangerous.
Are they?
Oh,
giant blind. Well, they didn't put a crumple zone. Most cars, when you get into accidents, they have portions of them that are made to compress. So when you're hitting a force, you're not stopping.
Oh.
And they didn't properly do that. So they are roving death machines.
Oh, that's a way to put it.
So not only are they ugly, they are extremely dangerous.
yeah, because
And it also gives off your, it's a that guy energy.
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
Big time. Yeah, no doubt about that.
Yeah, you're trying to be too flashy.
Okay, well, go ahead, Hunter.
Well, I was just going to say, when I was in high school, my dad bought a PT Cruiser, and I had to drive that thing around for a while. And, I would rather go back to driving that than ever drive a Cybertruck.
I would agree.
I would judge someone less in a PT Cruiser.
Yeah. I'd rather have
This
a
station
Volkswagen
famously owned
Beetle.
one.
Really?
ESPN Milwaukee had one?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
Wow.
They still make those?
I don't think so.
No.
You were correct. They have not made one since 2010.
Yeah. Not a very popular
there you
vehicle.
go.
But,
Interesting.
yeah.
Hey, what I learned, John Krasinski, sexiest man alive, according to People's Magazine.
That's what you're bringing to
Here in
us?
2024. Yeah, it gives me hope. Because I have a couple features that are similar to him. Big nose, kind of a not so great, little patchy, but like thin beard, dark features,
you just
bushy
been busted
eyebrows. No, it makes me feel like I'm more handsome than I actually think I am.
You've been breasted this.
Yeah.
He's the sexiest man alive, so actually I'm good looking, and you guys should all respect that.
Yes, yes.
He
I've got
gets
a better
paid
one.
millions
Hey,
to be
John
put on a
Krasinski.
giant screen.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
he is
he's-
far
he's
better
hot.
looking
He's
than you.
great, but he's great. And, you know, like Paul Rudd won this award once. And that one made me feel good because of, you know, I'm hilarious. I got a great personality. So that's why that
This
one
is
made
bad.
me feel good. But anyway, go ahead, Joshy.
The man from Green Lake who decided that he wanted to start a new life.
In Eastern Europe?
Yeah.
He faked his death on a canoe fishing trip, left his stuff there, left for Uzbekistan.
Has he been found yet?
No, he has not been found. The police are adamant they're going to find him despite not knowing where he currently is, which feels a little weird to me. The first emotion I felt was, we've all been there. We all wanted to get away.
Have we?
You've never wanted to disappear?
I've never wanted to fake
I
my
have.
own death, no.
No.
Well, not
the
that
fake
far.
my own death part. Yeah, no. Because, like, there's people I care about that be worried about me.
Maybe I'm just too happy and joyous of a fella. But no, not really. I don't think I've ever been like, man, I need a break.
You've never been like, I don't want to do this, or I've got a really bad week coming up. What if I just disappeared?
Honestly, no, I don't think so. I don't think I've ever had that.
Maybe you're just not thinking about it.
And I'm probably completely unrelatable for that. But
So I realized I've been spending a little too much time on like TikTok and that now because I just saw on Facebook
really?
an article about this. Well, so you mentioned Green Lake County. My hometown of Berlin is in Green Lake County. The Green Lake County sheriff is the stepfather of my childhood best friend. So I know him very well. And all of a sudden started seeing him pop up on my Facebook a lot about this. So I don't know if we wanted
we've
to try.
got ties.
Yeah. Like if
Are
we
you like
wanted to
ask
get
if
an
we wanna
interview
book him
here.
on the show?
Yeah. Do you want me
I
to
think
try?
We'll be okay.
Okay.
No, we can pass it on to WTMJ though, because
Okay.
he'll handle the real news. Joshy just is fascinated by the human brain.
Yeah, the person I want to talk to is the man who's running from the
Yeah,
authorities.
you got any connections in Uzbekistan?
No, I
That's who I
don't,
would like to talk to. I
unfortunately.
agree.
How awesome would it be to get that guy on from an undisclosed location?
I mean,
Yeah.
would we get in trouble for that?
No.
If we said we have no idea where he is, but he is willing to join us,
No, there's
the authorities couldn't do anything to us?
no.
We wouldn't be in trouble for like harboring a fugitive.
You could question our ethics on
Sure.
putting somebody like that
Well, you
on.
could do that regardless. But
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we're not doing anything illegal.
Okay. Hey, Hunter, reach out to your Uzbekistan contacts.
Okay.
Circle back. Otherwise, if you're unable to make that happen, Jim Rutledge will join us Friday to talk Packers Bears. We will have our second annual, third overall, second biannual, respectful Chicago Bears chat. I will show him nothing but respect when I ask him about Shane Waldron being fired, players asking to bench Caleb Williams, and all the in-betweens. I will be respectful on Friday. Ahead of Packers Bears on Sunday. Jim Rutledge, host of Jim, Matt, and Molly on ESPN Madison, will join us Friday as we continue to preview that one. Any final thoughts, anybody?
If you were going to fake your death, how would you do it?
We will talk to you on Friday beginning at 12:30 on the ESPN Milwaukee, ESPN Madison YouTube channel, the ESPN Madison Facebook page, and available wherever you get your podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Wisconsin On Demand. I don't know. Let me think about that. I'll come with an answer on Friday. It's Mr. Irrelevant, presented by Dork County Distiller. I'm Alex Strouf. Peace.